Welcome to Bubbl, a website that allows anyone to create mind maps. What are mind maps? Mind maps are visual organizers that help creative minds organize their thoughts and flow in a project. Individuals can create bubbles that offshoot from each other to help focus on specific areas of a creation. For instance, an individual might have one big bubble that says essay, 5 smaller bubbles that say introduction, body paragraphs 1, 2, and 3, and a bubble that says conclusion. Smaller bubbles are then created and offshoot from the mid-major bubbles that are filled with details. To use Bubbl, simply type in bubbl.us and visit their website. As you scroll down, you can see an example of a mind map and how it works. For instance, the middle of the example mind map reads Our Website, and from there you can trace down to Homepage. As you get more detailed, from Homepage stems a smaller bubble that reads Sign In, and from Sign In you can get even more detailed and see that you can sign in using Facebook, or you can sign in using a Google account. To begin a bubble, scroll up to the top of the page and click on Start Brainstorming. Now, I already have one started for us, so I'm going to click up here, but if you're just starting for the first time, you'll want to click on Start Brainstorming. The first bubble when you click says Start Here, but I've already edited mine to say Essay. We'll imagine we're preparing to write an essay for our class, for an English class, and so we'll list out essay and create several different bubbles for us to write this paper. As you see, I've already got 4 bubbles underneath essay. The way I was able to do that was I came down here and clicked on this green bubble in the bottom right hand corner. A 5th bubble has appeared, and I'm going to title it Conclusion. You can click on this bubble and drag it all the way up to line it up with the bubbles right here. And I'm going to center my essay bubble just to make things more organized. As we've added in our 5 major bubbles, we can connect each one of them to the main bubble by clicking on our parent bubble, the essay bubble right here, and clicking on this arrow at the very top. Next, we can click the introduction, body paragraph 1, body 2, 3, and so on. What this does is it gives us a visual representation of how each bubble connects to each other. The essay bubble immediately flows into the introduction, bodies 1, 2, and 3, and the conclusion. Now, I'm going to click on these mid-major bubbles, as I like to call them, and move right here to the yellow A. I personally am going to be changing the color of each one of my bubbles. I like that you can change the color of your bubbles to anything, but I am going to change the color so that each section is a different color. That way, we're more organized as the paper goes on. The overall essay bubble is yellow, and it's the only bubble that will be yellow. Our next major sections are going to be green, and as we add in details, we can make those a blue color. That way, we always know what section goes with what color. As we create our mind map, we can really get a sense of how our essay is going to turn out. We can edit the text of each bubble to better fit what we need to say in each section of the paper. I also really like that we don't have to go in order. We can draw up bubbles for our last body paragraph even before we draw up bubbles for our introduction. For instance, I might say details, click out here, change the color because it is a detail, and drop it underneath body paragraph 3. Click on this bubble, add an arrow, and boom. We're already focusing on how we might create up body number 3 before we even touch bodies 2, 1, or even the introduction. It's probably helpful to go ahead and come up with your topic sentence first, but theoretically, if you have a good idea going for you, there's no need to slow your roll and prevent yourself from making progress on a really good idea that you have, because you can always come back here and edit the map in any order that you wish. Bubbl is a wonderful tool to use to create anything that requires organization and flow. Like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, the essay, story, program, or anything that you need to write out slowly comes together and creates a picture of a finished product that you can be proud of. There are paid membership options for people interested in creating several mind maps, but I really like that there is a free option for people to try out and see if they like mind maps, which they ought to, and to create a couple with no charge. Happy mapping!